Warning: the following image and/or content may be disturbing, offensive to some viewers. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Salute everybody. Salute, salute. Welcome. We got another one reaction video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this content.
I reserve a point of order. The gentlewoman is recognized for 5 minutes to explain her amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. During the 118th Congress, Oversight Republicans disbanded one of the most important subcommittees in Congress, the Subcommittee on Civil Rights and Civil Liberties. And now in the 119th Congress, the chairman and House Republicans have decided to prioritize the demands of the real president, Elon Musk, and his billionaire friends over the needs of the American people. Now, we are about to approach the birthday of Martin Luther King. It's actually tomorrow. And on January 20th will be the inauguration of Donald Trump, but it will also be the observation of MLK Day. And the fact that we have decided that in this country we are
That's real quick. That's real quick. I find it highly disrespectful that she's not even remotely acknowledging Donald Trump as being the president of the United States. I find that highly disrespectful because at the end of the day, regardless of who won the election, that still is the leader of the country, period. You know what I'm saying? And I find it interesting that we just accept this behavior from these type of women. Now, don't get me wrong. Jasmine Crockett, I understand her plight. I understand that she's for not only the people, but she's also for African American rights and different things like that. Noted, nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, it has to be a certain level of respect as well too. When it comes to dealing with things, especially dealing with things political with our country. At the end of the day, once again, um, Donald Trump is our new president, and she have to acknowledge him as being the president. Elon Musk and none of them is not the president of this country. You know what I'm saying? If she wants to be that damn petty, she might as well say that the damn elite system is the president of the country if she want to go there. But that's neither here nor there. But let's continue.
not going to honor civil rights should be something that we all take issue with. Considering the fact, for some that don't know what civil rights are about, because some people only believe that it deals with black folk, let me explain. Civil and political rights are a class of rights that protect individuals' freedom from the infringement by governments, social organizations, and private individuals. They ensure one's entitlement to participate in the civil and political life of society and the state. Defined another way, the right to be free from discrimination, the freedom to worship as we choose, the right to vote for our elected representatives, the protections of due process, the right to privacy. If any of that sounds familiar, it is because these are rights that are born out of our Constitution, something that we all supposedly have sworn an oath to, and we swear to not only, we don't just swear to it, we are supposed to protect those rights. Interestingly enough,
So before she gets to her next point, I don't understand where she's going with this because as of right now, everybody civil rights is being protected. You know what I'm saying? Every protected class is being currently protected, one way or the other. You know what I'm saying? Blacks or Black Americans as they call them these days, they're being protected. White America is being protected. Even immigrants who are legal in this country or migrants who are legal in this country are being protected as a protected class. Hell, even the LGBTQ, which is not even a race at all, period, but they consider them as a protected class. But that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? But everybody rights are being protected. So I don't know what would be the whole point of having this amendment. But let's continue to listen.
we just had the funeral of one of our beloved presidents. And I caught a flight to Austin on the day of the funeral. And I had the honor of sitting next to someone who was a little familiar with the White House. That person was Lucy Baines Johnson. And when I tell you that she is a wealth of information, I really mean that. And when we had an opportunity to talk about what she experienced as her father was president during a time in which, honestly, our country was on fire, and I would argue that, unfortunately, our country is on fire right now. When I first ran for office, I ran for the State House and said that we were in the midst of a modern-day civil rights movement, and I have not been convinced otherwise just yet. But this is the daughter of the president that signed the Civil Rights Act of 1964. She was also there when he signed the Voting Rights Act of 1965. And to be perfectly honest, without that voting rights, I don't believe that I actually would have a seat in Congress. And so I do believe in preserving the fact that everyone should be entitled to real and true representation, because I do have a Section 2 seat as our Voting Rights Act has been decimated. But one of the stories that she told me was that her father asked her about coming over to the Congress for the signing of the bill as it relates to the Voting Rights Act. Now, for her, it was a bit inconvenient as an 18-year-old to have to leave the White House and go over to Congress. And she asked her father, why should we go over to the Congress, Daddy, to sign this particular bill? And she said, we need to go over to the Congress because we need to pay due respect to those members of Congress that knew that voting for this bill meant that they would not be returning to Congress, but they had the courage to do what was right for this country and make sure that everyone's voices were going to be heard.
I find that very, very interesting for her to say that. For her to say that they want to show respect for the country and everyone who's a part of the country. You know what I'm saying? Every representative of this country, but yet it's still in the beginning, she's been disrespectful by not even acknowledging that President Trump is the current president of the United States, and also acknowledging that there's other people in power running the country. Hmm. Interesting. But continue.
The one thing that we could do, the very small thing that we could do, is have a little bit of courage and decide that we are going to reinstitute this particular subcommittee, because unfortunately, I don't see the type of courage that the people that served back in the 60s had coming out of some of our colleagues. And so I'm asking you to do the courageous thing today and just institute a subcommittee that would make sure that we are looking out for those protections of everyone in this country, to make sure that we have real freedom, something that we all supposedly espouse to believe in. And with that, I will yield.
See, once again, I'm not understanding this amendment. I'm not understanding making her trying to put together a subcommittee of something that's already happening right now. I don't understand this, and this the reason why I say all the time on this podcast that I honestly believe that women should not be in a position of power, especially in Congress. You know what I'm saying? Because what I have observed is that when it comes to making decisions, special decisions with our country, that's very, very vital, that's very, very important. Women always tend to make decisions based on how the way they feel, their emotions first. They always do it, never fail, even with this situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, once again, Jasmine Crockett, she's the one. She's our House Congress over here for the state of Texas. And like, I respect her, I really do. I respect her, but at the same time, I do got to call out the city girl bullshit for what it is. You know what I'm saying? So this particular thing, having a sub Congress meeting over something that is totally irrelevant because it's active right now, it does a total waste of time. There are way more important things that's happening in this country that we need to deal with versus civil rights stuff that is already been dealt with. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no damn body in this country sitting up here crying over civil rights, civil liberties, other than these modern day women. Them the only one, and the LGBT community, by the way. They're the only two. The only two protected class that are really crying about this, crying about something that is already happening. And I'm gonna throw it out here too. Uh, this fifth wave feminist movement of women are also crying about civil rights, civil liberties, crying about reproductive rights, all this stuff that's irrelevant. It is not that damn serious. It is not that damn serious, but they're trying to make it a priority when it's not, when it's really not. But let's continue, y'all.
Mr. Chairman.
Gentlelady's time's expired. Any member seek recognition?
Yes.
Mr. Higgins? Oh, Ms. Mace was first. I'm sorry. Ms. Mace.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, I don't know what's going on today. I find it extremely rich and offensive. So we're talking about civil rights. I'm the former ranking member on the Civil Rights Subcommittee, something I believe in civil rights and civil liberties of all Americans. And we were talking about infringement of individual people. Also, quote, the right to privacy of individuals. Coming from a party that can't define what a woman is and won't give women the right to privacy. You all want men with penises, chicks with dicks, in the bathroom with us. You want women to be forced to undress in front of men in the locker room and in dressing rooms. And it's so hypocritical for you to sit here and say and be, screaming from the rooftops about the right to privacy and civil rights when you don't respect women. And you don't respect women who've been raped, women who are victims of sexual abuse. And you want me, a victim of rape, a survivor of rape, to go into a locker room and be forced to undress in front of a man? You have to be effing kidding me. So I don't want to hear about you talk about rights, individual rights, civil rights, because you can't find the courage from the 60s to fight for women all around America, fight for women like me, every single woman. And as a rape survivor, I shouldn't have to explain to you why women have rights and why women, when we're in the bathroom, when we're in the locker room, when we're in a dressing room, why I don't feel safe when there is a man nearby. And the fact that we're going here and we're going to say all these things is the ripeness of hypocrisy on the Hill. People need to tell the truth. And if we're going to talk about the rights of individuals, we have to talk about it. Everybody has rights, including women. And at some point, men are infringing on the rights of women. We just had it today. We just had a vote about protecting women and girls in sports. And I believe it wasn't one, it was two people from the Democrat Party who voted to protect women's rights in sports today. Two. So this is, Mr. Chairman, this is a deeply offensive conversation to me today. We want to talk about real freedom. Women have freedom in this country. Women have the freedom to go to a private women's only space and not see a man in it. Women have the right to change and not be feared that somebody with their sexual perversion, someone who's confused about their gender, we have the right to feel safe in these spaces. We have the right to know that we're not going to have trans people filming us in the bathroom. How many of these trannies are taking selfies, these men are taking selfies in women's spaces, in the bathroom? It's gross, it's disgusting. So if we're going to talk about civil rights, let's talk about the rights of women in this country and how you are stripping them away every single day. And you're doing it in your legislation, you're doing it in your messaging, you're doing it on X. You're making women feel unsafe in this country. And you're making the opportunity for women and girls to be raped, to be sexually abused in this country even greater than they've ever been. So don't come over here with your attitude and talk to me about rights when you're trying to take my rights as a woman, a rape survivor, away. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
The lady yields back.
See, I can't make this shit up at all, y'all. I can't. I can understand part of her argument about that, but That goes all the way back to what I was saying in the beginning about women in positions of power. They are literally sitting up here arguing back and forth with each other about some stupid stuff that is totally irrelevant, that is not that serious. And you could clearly see that the men who are in Congress right now, they're looking like, man, look, this is not that damn serious. Why are we even talking about this craziness? But yet it's still, this also go back to my point again about women, about they always make emotional decisions and they project their emotional decisions out thinking that they helping the community, that they're helping the nation out, but in reality they're really not. They're really not. Just like I stated before, and I stated again, nobody's civil rights have been violated and anything like that. Everybody has a protected class. Even the LGBTQ community has a one protected class and protected right and civil liberties. Liberties. So this whole conversation is totally irrelevant. It's just a waste of downtime. And I want y'all to want to pay attention to this as well too. Once again, we got way more important things that's happening in the country. LA right now is dealing with wildfires and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They dealing with that. Over here in the north and in the southern states and stuff, and going towards um, the eastern states, they're dealing with inclement weather, dealing with weather on president level. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with snow and ice and different things like that. People are going without food and different things like that. You know what I'm saying? As of right now, but yet it's still we was they'll sit up here, come here to the one to Capitol Hill, argue about some stupid ass shit about this. We sit up here dealing with inflation in our country right now, where even the middle class people is struggling. You know what I'm saying, to maintain their living expenses and stuff, where they have to take on multiple jobs and stuff. You know what I'm saying, and different things like that, and I can only imagine what the actual poor people is going through if the middle class is struggling. You know what I'm saying? So we have all this stuff going on. We got the immigration crisis that's going on as well too. Have illegal immigrants coming over here and literally taking jobs. But we sitting up here allowing them coming to the house and stuff, right? Coming to Capitol Hill, argue about some goddamn women's rights. What kind of bullshit is that? That's why I say women should not be in a position of power at all. But we're going to continue a little bit more to this because they're going to do some more stuff that it is going to solidify my whole argument about this. Why I believe that women should not be in a position of power, especially in the dealing with the House of Representatives and Congress and stuff, because it is not beneficial at all. But let's continue.
Back, any member seek recognition? Ms. Stansberry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the gentle lady across the aisle demonstrating why we need civil rights. We need civil rights to protect all people, especially trans Americans who are under attack right now. I would like to yield the rest of my time to the gentle lady who is carrying the amendment.
I don't even know how we got there because I tried to make it clear how many civil rights, it doesn't just boil down to one conversation, but I can see that somebody's campaign coffers really are struggling right now. So she gonna keep saying trans, trans, trans so that people will feel threatened. And child, listen, I want y'all to tell me whether or
Do
not.
not call me a child. I am no child.
I want
Don't
to
even
find
start.
out
I am a grown
which
woman.
of those
I am 47 years
emails
old. I have broken
actually
more
have.
glass ceilings than you
Chairman,
ever
I
Order,
am
please.
reclaiming my
Let's go.
time.
You will not do that. I
Order.
am not a
Chairman,
child.
I am
not a
reclaiming
child.
my time.
If you want to take it outside, we
Mr.
can
Chairman,
do
the
that.
committee is not
Okay,
in
all
order.
right. Order.
Y'all see what I'm talking about? Y'all see exactly what I'm talking about. Y'all see why I say what I say on this podcast about these modern day women, period. Y'all see why I say that I believe that women shouldn't be in a position of power because of this. Because of this. Because they allowing their emotions to dictate what is right. This whole entire thing didn't have nothing to do about protected classes. It had everything to do about how the way they're feeling in that moment. Unfortunately, Jasmine Crockett pulled up into Capitol Hill with her mom made up that I'm going to go in there and check them with this amendment, right? Knowing good and well people are going to give her pushback on that, but she decided to do it anyway. not thinking about it logically anyway, not thinking about, hey, since I'm representing the state of Texas, what is really going on with the people in the state of Texas? What ways can I help the people in the state of Texas? What ways can I help people financially in the state of Texas? But instead of that, she want to come here to Capitol Hill with this stupid ass shit that she doing right now, which is talking about civil rights. Who the hell cares about civil rights right now? Who cares? That is irrelevant right now. It is. It's honestly irrelevant. And as you see in real time, these same said women are arguing back and forth with each other, threatening to take each other outside, being disrespectful, and all this other dumb stuff. You know what I'm saying? And this is what happened in real time. This is why different laws can't be created and different amendments and anything could be created is because of this behavior. And this is not the only time that Jasmine got into it with people in the house. You know what I'm saying? It been plenty of times she done got into it with people in the one house doing these community meetings, especially last year. This is all they did last year. Then they get hardly anything done, but constantly back and forth, bickering and bickering and bickering over and over again about stupid stuff that's irrelevant. One last thing too that I want to mention about this, right? One last thing too. I heard through the reports that Michelle Obama was saying that she wasn't going to attend the inauguration. All right. And I heard that through the report. And I also heard the reports that she didn't attend President Carter's funeral, I believe. And the reason why she didn't want to attend President Carter's funeral is because she'll been sitting right next to President Trump. What kind of silly bullshit is that? How crazy is that? Because at the end of the day, it don't matter if you like a person or not, that person is still the president, period. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's just like you going to a job, right? Just because you don't like your boss, that doesn't mean you have to act like a straight asshole and create all this chaos because you don't like your boss or your coworker. You still have to be able to get along. So things can happen the way they need to happen. You know what I'm saying? So production can happen the way it happens, right? A matter of fact, let me show y'all this, and we'll be done with this real quick. Let me share with y'all the actual report behind this where I guess it's a news anchor people that's reporting it that she wasn't coming to the inauguration. But I want y'all to listen to this.
Forgive me, but you and I may be two of the only people with access to a camera or a microphone who are not exactly bedazzled by Michelle Obama. I don't care that she's not going to the inauguration. I don't care whether she is or isn't in the same house as her husband. I don't care what she says in advocacy of a candidate one way or the other.
I didn't even know that she don't live in the same house with Barack Obama. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've been hearing that. In a way, I've been hearing that's allegedly, but you know.
I've never got the Michelle Obama thing. Does anyone care that she's not going to be there when all eyes are on Trump and his wife?
I kind of like it. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little beyond not caring. I'm like, good. Don't come.
Stay away.
You know, seriously, you're out there, endorsing that he's a misogynist, Hitler-esque type. Because stay home. No one wants to see you. You're right. Yeah. We shouldn't come. I'm glad you skipped the Carter funeral so you wouldn't have to sit next to him. Maybe. We don't know why. Crazy. I don't mind not seeing you at the inauguration. She not only does she hate Trump, she doesn't think much of America. So she can sit this one out. No one's going to miss her. She's already getting plaudits from people like Joy Reid, which tells you exactly what you need to know about how to feel about this issue. And listen, the Obamas are yesterday's news. No one cares about them anymore. They did everything in their power to defeat Trump both times, and they lost, right? In 2016 when they really put it on the line, and then again this time around. No one listened to them. They're as irrelevant as J-Lo now in their political opinions about who should be president. They can't sway anybody who's swayable, right? They can motivate some Democrats, obviously not enough. So their time has passed in the way that, it's sad that Jimmy Carter died. He had a great long life, but nobody was asking themselves, what did Jimmy Carter think about this political issue by the end? And Obama's already turfed off into that category.
Now, obviously, what's happening in Los Angeles is very serious, but I jokingly referred that, don't forget about all of the victims here. Megan has had her show delayed by Netflix. So she had the whole PR thing ready. She was out there with the baseball cap. She was, expecting that the show was coming out in a couple of days, but now it's been pushed off again. So can we think about all the victims of the LA fires, please?
This is almost as disgusting as the trip to Uvalde after the mass school shooting. She is all about one person, her, not even Harry. I don't think she cares about him at all. She cares about herself. What sort of absolute cretin would go to these fires in her position and make sure they get on camera and that news stories are generated about them helping the poor city of Los Angeles residents whose homes burned? She doesn't need to do that. She, as you and I both well know, if you want to help out, there are ways to make donations and you can keep them anonymous. That's what I do when I make.
See, and that was the reason. That was the reason why I kind of played it a little further than that, because once again, this one solidified my argument about when women be in a position of power, they always lead with their emotions rather than leading with logic and reasoning. Even with the situation with Michelle Obama, simply talking about she ain't gonna come to an inauguration, including all the way to this other one reporter that they're talking about right now, who literally went to instead of contributing to the LA fires, right, and trying to help out the victims there and different things like that, she just decided that she wanted to get a photo shoot out there and stuff, right, to want to pretend that she really cared, but in reality, she really don't care at all, period. So that's why I want to play this clip right here. That's to let y'all understand where I'm coming from with all this. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this song. How do y'all feel about my assessment on this song? Do you believe that I'm too hard on these women when I say that they shouldn't be in a position of power, or do you actually agree with me on this, that women shouldn't be in a position of power? Make sure you want to like and share and hit the notification bell when I drop videos or go live again on my podcast. I will see y'all again on the next episode. Peace out.